Howdy folks, today I'd like to take a casual peek into the Marvel Legends Hulk action figure by Hasbro. This figure set is part of the Fans Choice winner 2-pack Marvel Legends sets and was first released in 2010. This is a Toys R Us exclusive, and I did pick it up at Toys R Us for $24.99. Now, this video is going to focus on the Hulk, and a separate video will focus on the Valkyrie here. But taking a look at the Hulk in the package here, and you can see that he's pretty massive. And I believe this is a redeco of the Build-A-Figure Red Hulk on there. But still an interesting figure. Does not come with any accessories like the Valkyrie does. I think it's just due to the sheer size of this guy. We have here some artwork for the Hulk there. And taking a look at the back of the package, you can see both Valkyrie and Hulk here, and a description of both Valkyrie and Hulk. And right here we have some statistics for Hulk down below. We'll be right back and have Hulk out of the package. Okay, we're back and we have Hulk out of the package, and I have to say that I'm kind of impressed with the figure. I have to admit that this figure set was my least desired of the 3 2-packs that came out in October. And there are a few things with this figure that I noticed once I got this guy out of the package that I didn't notice before. And it's actually kind of neat. But this figure does still have some flaws, and we'll go into that in a little bit. But first, taking a look at the figure here, it's a pretty beefy figure. And of course, I did mention earlier that this is just a redeco of the Hasbro Build-A-Figure Red Hulk. Obviously, it's a different paint scheme and a different head. But it's essentially the same as the Build-A-Figure Red Hulk figure. And let's take a look at some of the details of this guy here. Let me just go ahead and straighten this guy out here. And this guy, like I said, is pretty beefy. He's pretty big. And we'll do a size comparison first to get that out of the way. And don't have too many bigger characters available, but we'll go ahead and compare him to, let's go straighten him up here, a regular Marvel Legends figure. I have here Dum Dum Dugan from a recent peek on there. You can see that the Hulk towers over Dum Dum Dugan. And another figure for comparison, a larger figure. I have my Ironmonger from the Iron Man line, and you can see that the Hulk is still bigger than the Ironmonger here by a head, or half a head it looks like. So this Hulk figure is pretty large on there. Taking a look at the figure, he's a little too large to fit in the frame here. It's actually got a nice head sculpt on this guy. I'm not that much of a fan of the close cropped haircut Hulk. I'm more of a fan of the shaggy hair Hulk. I think it's just because I grew up reading that version of the Hulk from the 70s and 80s. And it's just I'm just not used to this close cropped haircut. But it is much better than the Marvel Universe version of the Hulk by miles on there. And I like the scowl on the face there. It's very neat. And the details on the teeth alone is very impressive. I don't know if I can get it into focus there. Let me see if I can get it into focus. Not that much in the focus there. In and out of focus. But the detail on the teeth and the gums there is actually quite neat. And one thing I also noticed, or didn't notice until I got it out of the package, is the nice paint or shading on this figure. You can see the shading here in the crevices and the muscles. It's actually quite neat, and especially at the back there, and I really do like it. It doesn't show up as well on the video, as well as the green color. It's a darker shade of green than what's showing up on the video, and the shading is a grayish color on there. It's actually kind of neat. And also the details in the pants. I really like the details. It looks like a powdery type texture. I can't explain it, but it's actually kind of neat. It looks dusty almost. It doesn't look like that on the video, but there's right here some lighter gray highlights on there that the video's not picking up. That looks pretty neat. I really do like it. I find it interesting that for the Hulk, he's got these expanding pants, yet he can't keep the button on his pants fastened on there. I thought that's a kind of a neat detail. He's got an unbuttoned on there on the pants. So, but pretty neat. And when I first saw this figure in the package, wasn't liking it that much. I thought it looked a little too angular in the sculpt, but once this guy's out of the package, I don't know, it just doesn't appear that way anymore. I don't know if it's the plastic that was around the figure that made it look that way, but it's you can still see some angular cuts, especially at the tricep here, but overall it's a more rounded look and a lot better out of the package. And you can see some more details here. Got some veins popping on there. It's actually kind of neat, and very large veins here, prominent veins on the arms. There are only a couple issues I have with this figure, and they're both arm related. Well, I did notice in the packaging, this is a bit of a gap right here on the right bicep here. It doesn't show up on the left bicep. It's the gap is pretty much closed, and I think it's a production thing, because I went through several Hulk Valkyrie sets back in October. There weren't too many as there are now, but every single one of them had this gap right here on this right bicep. I haven't checked recently on any of the Hulk sets, but every single one I saw in October and November just had this gap on this bicep here, which is kind of unfortunate. You can actually move the arm a little bit, but otherwise it's kind of unsightly compared to his left bicep there. And the only other issue I have is the tricep here. I know this is the Hulk, he's a hulking figure, but the tricep, especially at the tip here, impedes a lot of the posability of the arm. Well, not a lot, but a lot of what I like to do on the posing. I like to have when I pose the arm back, you can't, because it runs into the back of the figure here. You can't move this arm back on there, or twist the arm out and move it back, and to do some maybe some posing with the arm here due to this. And what I may end up doing is shaving off a bit right here. It looks like it's just, if shaved off just a little bit more, you'd be able to pose this arm a little bit more. Maybe just cut about that much into the figure. You get some better arm articulation going backwards on there. But those are my two gripes with this figure. Otherwise, it's really an excellent figure. But going over the articulation, The head does go all the way around. It's on a ball joint, and it does go up and down slightly. It would have been nicer if the head went up a little bit more, especially with the crunch at the ab, to have his head face upward more. But it's due to this ball joint right here, because this was a Build-A-Figure on there to make it easier, I guess, to put the head into place. But it does go up and down slightly. The arms do go all the way around, and they do go out and in. The biceps go all the way around. Single joint at the elbow, and the hand rotates all the way around and bends in and out. One nice thing about this figure also is that the joints on here are nice and stiff, not too tight, just a little bit stiffer, which is kind of neat. But continuing with the articulation, the torso goes down very well, up and back slightly. And there's more detail on the thumb. They actually painted the thumb there. It's actually kind of neat. The waist goes all the way around. The legs are joined at the hip with a ball hinge swivel joint. So you have to manipulate the ball joint to get the leg in the position you want. And as I said, the legs are pretty stiff. But the legs can go up, down, and to the back, and out to the side. It rotates at the top of the thigh there. Single joint at the knee, which actually bends back, even though you only have a single joint there. It bends back pretty well. And the feet are on a hinge swivel joint, so the feet can go down, up, and all the way around. And the feet are nice and flat on there, which is kind of neat to make it a lot more stable in posing the figure. Overall, impressive figure. I like it a lot more once I got this guy out of the package. Just the arm here and the tricep area right there could have been done with a little bit more cutting, shaving off on there, to make it more posable. But otherwise, an excellent figure. I really do like it. I like it a lot more once I got this guy out of the package. But this is my casual peek into the Marvel Legends Hulk figure. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.